The Sun Devils are going dancing. Let's talk about it on this edition of the Locked On Sun Devils podcast.
You are Locked On Sun Devils, your daily podcast on the Arizona State Sun Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Richie Bradshaw, and I will be your guide for everything Arizona State Sun Devils. As always, wherever you're getting your podcast, make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get an update when we post new content. Stay in touch with that content by following me on Twitter at RichieBrads36 and the podcast at LO_Sun Devils. Guys, the Sun Devils are going dancing. They are officially a play-in game for the March Madness tournament. This is the first time since, I believe, 2018, and this is very, very exciting. This is very, very exciting for the Sun Devils. This was the goal heading into the year. This was, in my opinion, this is what I said was the standard that Bobby Hurley needed to meet in order to continue his career at Arizona State. It's been rumored that he is going to be continuing at Arizona State, and this only solidifies him going to stay at Arizona State for a long, long time at this point. How long? I don't know. Maybe it's only another year. Maybe it's 5 years. Who knows? But the bottom line here is Arizona State is potentially going to make it to March Madness, and they are in March Madness, but they're potentially going to make it to the round of 64. They will be a play-in game. They will be playing, and this is a really good storyline, Nevada. We'll talk about why that's a good storyline in just a second, but they will be in the West Division, and if they beat Nevada, they will be an 11 seed, and they will take on the TCU Horned Frogs, a 6 seed. Here's why this is such an interesting storyline. In case you forgot, Desmond Cambridge Jr. and Warren Washington transferred to Arizona State from Nevada. They are former Wolfpack, and they are going to be looking at this game, and there's going to be a lot of energy. There's going to be a lot of excitement. There's going to be a lot of emotions for these young men as they take on the teams that they had spent so much of their career with. I know that they had been with teams previously, Warren Washington with Oregon State for a little bit, and then Desmond Cambridge Jr. was also with the University of Brown. So there's going to be some serious emotions in this game. The story about how they ended up at Arizona State was they were looking to, we'll start with Desmond. Desmond was looking to play his final year of college ball with his brother, Devin, who was also entering his final season of college basketball. They decided to transfer from Nevada and from Auburn, respectively, come to Arizona State. Well, Desmond Cambridge not Desmond Cambridge. Sorry, I'm very, very excited. So I'm like kind of stumbling. But Warren Washington saw that Desmond was transferring, those two really good friends in college, roommates in college. And Warren said, "Hey, I'm coming with you." The three of them had actually been playing some pickup basketball during the off season when they had all decided that they were going to come to Arizona State. They do end up there. And I mean, the rest is history. These guys end up building quite a reputation in Tempe, with Desmond Cambridge Jr. being an exceptional player for the team this year, leading the team in scoring, having some of the best shots of the year, including the more than half-court shot against U of A to down them in the regular season, which no doubt was one of the wins that helped propel them to getting into the March Madness tournament and the play-in game. With them taking on Nevada, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be a lot for Desmond and for Warren to absorb in this game. It's the same for any other kind of instance like that. Like, playing against your former school is never easy. It's very difficult. And it's not as though they transferred from Nevada on bad terms. These guys were simply, all three of them, last year of college basketball, all three of them just wanted to play together. And they felt that Arizona State was going to be the best opportunity for all three of them to get onto the court. They obviously bought into Bobby Hurley and the culture that he has established here over his several years at Arizona State. and they felt that there was maybe some specialness to this team. And they obviously were more right than they were wrong on that. Arizona State won 20 plus games for the first time in a handful of years, and now they are in the tournament for the first time in a handful of years. This is a very exciting time for Arizona State basketball. This is an equally exciting time for these three young men, and specifically Dez and Warren as they get ready to take on their former team in March Madness. Real quick, I want to talk to you guys about some of our friends, starting with Built Bar. Built Bar is a great tasting protein bar, and with March Madness being here, we know that you have a favorite bar, whether it's Puff or anything else like that. It's now time to make it count. Go to builtmarchmadness.com to vote for your favorites. You know you'll be voting for your favorite Puff or your favorite bar. I'll be looking at the coconut almond will be the one that I'm looking at. And if you want this sports team to win, then you'll be voting for that bar too. Support your team, support your bar or Puff. And when you vote for your favorite bar or Puff, you will be entered in a drawing where 50 lucky Locked On listeners will get a free box of Built Bars. Not only that, but one Locked On fan will win a 12-month subscription to Built to have Built's best bars or Puffs delivered monthly straight to your door. You got to try Built. Built, the best protein bar ever. Seriously, they're so amazing. You won't think they're good for you. What makes Built Bars so good? They're covered in 100% real chocolate, and they're high in protein. They're delicious. Run to builtmarchmadness.com right now to vote for your favorite bar or Puff and pick up a box while you're there. You can vote every day in March, so hop in and support your pick. Also want to talk to you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. And at this point, the NBA season, as well as with March Madness, now is the best time for you to join FanDuel. You'll get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Bonus bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. You can bet on everything from money line to point scores and threes drained. Plus, FanDuel lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss your chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, let's finish our conversation now about Arizona State Sun Devils basketball. This is a really good opportunity for them to really continue building their reputation in what feels like a new incoming era for Bobby Hurley. This is a team that had a lot of veterans, but there's also a lot of young players on this team that are going to be looking for opportunities moving forward. We've seen a lot of Duke Brennan this year. We've seen a lot of Austin Nunez, who knows if he's going to play at this point. We've seen a lot of Austin Nunez this year. We've seen a lot of Jemiah Neal this year. We've seen flashes, from like Enoch Bache and some other young guys on the roster. Frankie Collins is likely returning. DJ Horn is likely returning. This is one of the more promising teams that we've seen from Arizona State, and it feels like quite a while. Now they have an opportunity to really establish themselves, maybe become a transfer darling for other guys who are entering the portal. I don't know names off the top of my head, but I do know that Arizona State brought in 4 transfers last year, and all 4 of them were starters for 80+% of the games this year. All 4 of them were significant contributors for Arizona State. They're going to hopefully continue that run that they're making right now with dominating the transfer portal. Hopefully this maybe kickstarts recruiting too. This is a really, really promising time at Arizona State Sun Devils basketball. I'm still not saying that these guys are national champion contenders. They're just not. But this is an opportunity for the Sun Devils to continue improving, continue competing in the Pac-12, and continuing to hopefully make the tournament, make some noise every once in a while, maybe win a couple of games. Who knows? Arizona State has never been to the Final Four. I don't know if that's ever going to be the expectation, but, I'm certainly not against it. Everyone else shouldn't be against it. Who knows what we might get out of this team? Like I said, it's just a very exciting time. Looking at the Western bracket, this won't be an easy run for Arizona State by any stretch of the imagination. If they are able to beat Nevada, They will start off with TCU, who I'm sure they could probably play around with. I don't know. I like this ASU team. The problem, as we know, is they're either on or they're off. This is either a team that's shooting very, very well, or they can't make the simple buckets because the shot selection is crazy. The defense can be really good, but it's also been inconsistent at times. So March Madness is just going to depend on what ASU team shows up. But I don't see any reason that they can't beat Nevada. I don't see any reason they can't beat TCU. That's a good start. However, after that, more than likely, now, granted, Grand Canyon University, props to them, lopes up, totally respect them, will be a 14 seed trying to pull an upset on Gonzaga, the number 3 seed. I don't see that happening. If Arizona State is able to win their first 2 games, Gonzaga's a buzzsaw. They're a contending team for a national championship every single year. They're probably not beating Gonzaga. But there is a chance here for you to win 2 games in March Madness, and that in itself is a huge win for the team. That'll be a massive opportunity. I think that you should aim to win those 2 games, and from there, see where it takes you. But those would be my goals: getting into the tournament by beating Nevada, and then beating TCU in the first round. I think that's reasonable. I think that's realistic for the team. Do that, and who knows what this does for your team, what this does for your program moving forward. But I think those are my expectations. I think that's where I'm at. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter, wherever you're at. Also, just so you know, I don't know if you guys noticed the background getting a little more detail and attention. I will also be working on some new graphics for the show, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys for joining on this emergency podcast of the Locked On Sun Devils. Make sure that you tune in this week. We got to cover spring ball that's coming up for Arizona State Sun Devils football. We obviously got to stay in touch with the basketball. It's going to be a jam-packed week, so wherever you get your podcast, hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get an update when we post new content. Until next time, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun Devils.